We haven't talked about Anthem in quite a while as this game continues to plunge to irrelevance, but something came up on November 1st, 2019 that I think further signals that this game is not in a good shape and that maybe its future prospects aren't looking so hot. So this was first relayed by Paul Tassi at Forbes with an article whose headline reads, "What appears to be the last guy running Anthem just left Bioware." So the individual in question here is a man going by the name Chad Robertson, who is the head of live service over at Bioware, or was, and he recently went to Twitter to post the following set of tweets in which he talked about how he's leaving Bioware after having worked at the company for 14 years. So here's how that reads. Quote, "This is my last week with Bioware. I've been with the company for 14 years and am grateful for everything I've been part of here. SWTOR, Anthem, the Austin studio, and Bioware are in good hands. You can expect great things ahead. I join as a fan now and look forward to playing Bioware games for years to come. I'm very excited about the next step of my journey in the game industry and look forward to sharing that soon." So, this is the second lead who has left from Anthem's live service development cycle. For those who aren't aware, the last guy who left goes by the name Ben Irving. He talked right here about how he had an amazing 8 years at Bioware and, quote, "I've made the decision to move on and have accepted an exciting opportunity at another gaming company." And then in regards to the future of Anthem, he said, "I have really enjoyed interacting with the Anthem community, streams, Twitter, and Reddit through the good times and the tough times. You all are in great hands with Jesse Anderson, who is the global lead core community at EA, and Andrew Johnson, EA Bioware Global Community Lead, and have been for quite some time now. I wish nothing but the best for all of you, Ben." So he seemed to imply that two community heads are at the forefront of Anthem's live service future. But I believe what he was saying here is that in terms of communication, interacting with the Anthem community, he's saying you can rely on Jesse Anderson and on Andrew Johnson, both of who are still working at EA and at Bioware. But when it comes to who was running the show after Ben Irving left, it is safe to say, we don't know for sure because they haven't really communicated that aspect, but it is safe to say that it was probably this guy right here, Chad Robertson, head of live service, given that the last update we got on Anthem back in September 17th, 2019, was from Chad himself. And in this post, he talked about how now that the Cataclysm is coming to an end, they're going to talk about what's next for Anthem, except they don't really share much in this post. So right here, Chad confirmed that Anthem has core issues they have to work on. He didn't detail what the fixes would be, but all he said was that there are systems that they're reviewing and reworking. And then right here, he talked about how the roadmap would be completely cut. The act's structure would no longer take shape the way BioWare originally intended. Now, instead, they have seasonal updates planned and certain events that will, quote-unquote, deliver challenges and chases similar to what you've seen. And then he talked about how they want to be transparent over at BioWare and that they know more work needs to be done and that they know they have to back their words with a great game. But then amidst all of that, he said, "I don't have any news to share about the long-term changes we're bringing to Anthem," in a post titled, "What is Next for Anthem?" So this was really super bizarre, and it further just kind of drained confidence when it comes to the future of this game. But he is the guy who was kind of running the show after Ben Irving left. He signed this post himself, Chad, head of live service. And now, almost 2 months after this post came out, we're now learning that this guy is leaving as well. So I'm just sitting here wondering what the heck is going on behind the scenes, because this is not normal for a game, a live service, to lose 2 leads in a row like this. And they keep trying to say that, BioWare and Anthem is in good hands, but no company that is in a good state in terms of community morale and employee morale, like, goes through something like this, the way it's happening with BioWare right now. It's all very strange. I don't want to make declarations, but just from an outside guy looking in, this all looks pretty questionable, doesn't it? So now with Chad gone after Ben left, the question becomes, who is running the show here? Who is the head of Anthem now? Who can we rely on to fix the game, to bolster the game, to overhaul the game if that's actually in the works? They keep talking about how the future of Anthem is secure, but time and again, BioWare has proven that they have no freaking clue what they're doing with this game. And there haven't been any significant developments over the last 2 months, so it's just hard to believe when people like Ben and Chad keep touting how Anthem is in good hands. When every event, everything that's happened since the launch of Anthem has proven the complete opposite. And then with this post, Chad assured, he seemed to suggest that they haven't given up on it, and EA, during a financial report, they said, yes, Anthem disappointed in sales, woefully. But Andrew Wilson said, we are confident in this game. We're going to keep supporting it. We believe in its future, the live service elements and stuff. Unless there is a Final Fantasy XIV, a Realm Reborn style overhaul in the works for this. And unless that overhaul turns out to be something really magical, something that just makes a complete 180, this game will continue to plunge into irrelevance, and I'm not sure whatever updates they're working on will even be enough to bring people back, because they've just left this in such a just irrelevant state for so long now. People have just moved on. They've forgotten about this game. And there's so many other live services to look forward to, or that are out right now, or other looter shooters like Borderlands 3, which isn't even a live service, and there's just more to look forward to. I mean, Blizzard just announced, Overwatch 2, Diablo 4, more sort of continuously developing games down the pipeline. People only have so much time and so much money to spend on these games. And Anthem is becoming less and less worthwhile to consider in any way. I mean, this guy Chad, he's the head of live service. Live service being the term that companies like to use to describe the long-term support and update for a game, the continuous evolution of a game. When the guy who's in charge of that says sayonara and takes his leave from Anthem, a live service, I mean, that's just such an on-the-nose signal that this game seems to have no future. As for how the community has been reacting to all this, well, on Twitter, you can see that a lot of people seem to think this is Chad jumping ship. He sees what's ahead. He sees that the future looks grim, and he's just saying, I'm out. He's not saying that, obviously, but, I mean, I guess that's a possibility. I can't confirm or deny either way. Others are wishing Chad well wishes, and, I wish Chad the best in his future endeavors. Hopefully joins a company where maybe he's happier, because I feel like a lot of BioWare employees just aren't happy at the company right now, especially if they're relegated to working on Anthem. Maybe the folks over at Dragon Age now have something exciting to look forward to, as long as the heads of BioWare aren't trying to enforce this BioWare magic work ethic BS. But just a lot of people feel like why would this happen if the future of a project looked bright, as Chad and Ben, when he left, seemed to claim? It just makes no sense. On Reddit, people seem to remember that Chad was the guy who wrote this blog post in which he said, "What's next for Anthem?" before saying, "We can't share anything." It is kind of baffling that this post even exists. And so I don't know, some people are thinking maybe with this guy gone, with Chad gone, maybe whoever is the new leader of Anthem, whoever's spearheading this project now, can actually take this game and steer the ship away from a frickin' iceberg. Yeah, just a number of people here saying that maybe maybe the overhauling of Anthem's leadership is a good thing. Maybe that matches what they said before about how they're really striving to overhaul a lot of the core systems. Maybe this all matches that. The departure of Ben and Chad and the people who initially spearheaded Anthem after the core team moved on to Dragon Age. Some people would like to think that BioWare being so quiet means that they're just really hunkering down and just really actually working on this game. And so they're just spending months focused on that instead of communicating something that may or may not pan out. Instead of focusing on the PR aspect, they're going to work on the game first and then really do a major blowout. A lot of the Anthem fans, certainly that's what they're hoping for the people who would like to see this game come through at the end of the tunnel. Because a lot of people feel like there was like an inkling of a good idea within Anthem. It was just so poorly executed, without vision, without any real guidance, with such poor management that the execution of something conceptually interesting was completely botched. But only time will tell what the future holds for BioWare, for Anthem, whether we'll see more departures that further signal that BioWare is not headed in a good direction, or whether this is kind of a remixing of management for a game that's just been so poorly run. Until we learn more, I'd love to hear what your take is on all of this in the comments below. With that, I would like to end this news update and discussion video. Thank you for tuning in. To be further updated on all things gaming news, reviews, and discussions, stay tuned right here on Young Yeah. I'll see you guys next time. Young out.